Hello, third grade. Today we're going to look at chapter 11 of Poppy. The word is contradict. The title is a tricky one. Erathazon Doristom. So it's the name of a new character that's in the log with Poppy. So with the last chapter, the fox forced Poppy into a log, then has found that she's sharing the log with a new character. And the name of that porcupine is Erathazon Doristom. In the obscure murk of the log's interior, Poppy crouched tensely. Slouching slowly out of the dark came a flat-faced beast with a blunt black snout and fierce grizzled whiskers. Its eyes were heavily lidded as though it had been awakened. The creature moved ponderously with a waddle and a rattle. Its smell, was powerful enough to make Poppy clamp a paw over her nose. The moment the animal caught sight of her, it came to a clumsy stop and blinked. "What's the bee's butt are you doing in here, fearball?" it snarled. Poppy, wishing she knew what kind of animal she was facing, could only whimper, "It's just me, sir." "The name is Ereth," the animal snapped. "Erathazon Doristom. But I just go by Ereth. What's more, I'm a grump, and you just woke me, so don't try to slick me down with slug slop." "I'm truly sorry I woke you, Mr. Ereth," Poppy said. "What are those things on your head?" the beast growled. "Flat balloons or ears? The name is Ereth, E-R-E-T-H, and stop your barking." "Please, Ereth, it's not me barking." "Then who the frog flip is making that racket?" "It's a fox at the entrance of the log." "Some idiot friend of yours?" "No, sir, not my friend." "Who in the dung beetle bit are you anyway?" Ereth suddenly demanded. "You're so small I can hardly see you." "I'm a deer mouse, a girl deer mouse." "I didn't ask what you were. I don't give a bug's bathwater about that. I asked what's your name." "Poppy." "Poppy? What kind of idiotic name is that?" "Please, it's a family tradition. We're named after flowers and fruits." "Erathazon Doristom is my name, Latin name. But you kids don't learn Latin anymore, do you?" "I don't know what Latin is, sir. Ereth." The beast sniffed loudly. "The whole forest is full of idiots, like that fox." During this conversation, the fox had continued to bark and whine, occasionally even digging ferociously at the log entrance. "Pop, fop, snop," Ereth cried, "or whatever your idiot name is. Would you tell that fox to shut up?" "It's Poppy, and if I tell him, I don't think he will." "Why not?" "He wants to eat me," Poppy said. "Eat you?" "Yes." "Jerk," Ereth said scornfully. "But then all meat-eaters are jerks. Ever notice that? Did you ever meet a meat-eater who wasn't loud and aggressive?" "Did you?" "Nah, never mind. Just get out of here and leave me alone." "I can't," Poppy cried. "Why the bat bilge can't you?" "I just told you if I go out, he'll eat me." "Look here, whatever your idiot name is, don't you have any guts?" "Please, it's Poppy." "Oh, weasel wonk, I don't care what it is. All I'm saying is, if a creature can't take care of himself, he has no business sneaking into mine, waking an old coot like me in the middle of the day, and asking for my help." "I never asked you for any help," Poppy replied. "Can't you understand? That fox chased me. Do you think I like being here? It stinks." Ereth blinked. "Oh, all right. I suppose I better talk some sense into that meat mauler. Just get out of my way," he snarled as he began to waddle forward. "It's your lookout, not mine. If you get pricked by one of my quills..." Poppy's heart clenched. Did you say quills?" she stammered. "Of course I said quills, fuzzball." "Yes, but what?" Poppy was dizzy with fear. Her knees shook. She found it hard to swallow. "What are you?" "Don't you have eyes?" he said. "And are those spots on your face, or are they buttons? I'm a porcupine." "Porcupine?" The word turned Poppy numb. She could hardly breathe. She could not think. "Floppy or or Poppy or Floppy, Wreath bellowed. Will you get your flea-flicking self out of the way? Poppy dived against the pulpy wall of the log and squeezed herself flat to allow Wreath room. Even so, as the porcupine waddled by, his quills raked across her belly like a rusty comb. Never, despite all she'd confronted, had Poppy been so terrified. Erath, however, continued to make his ponderous way toward the entrance log, where the fox was still barking and yelping. Poppy felt sure that once the fox was disposed of, the prickly monster would turn on her. First, he would shoot her with quills. Next, he would stab her. Then he would skewer her. Finally, he would chop her into tiny bits and eat her. For a moment, Poppy considered offering herself to the fox if the choice was between being swallowed in one gulp or being tortured by a porcupine. Surely death by fox would be preferable. Poppy stared into the darkness of the log. Perhaps there was an escape hole, but, frozen by the terror of her predicament, she could not move. Instead, her eyes turned towards the entrance, certain she was about to witness some ghastly carnage. Sure enough, when Erath reached the log opening, Poppy heard him screech, "Fox, you braying bag of bones, what's all this mess? Can't an old creature get some quiet in this own home?" "I'm sorry, Erath," Fox returned in a voice that was, at best, sniveling. "I don't know you were here, just trying to grab a mouse who ran into your place, a snack. Nothing more. Just not trying to bother you, no harm meant, just a midday nibble." "Don't nag me about your nibbles, you nitwit," Erath bellowed. "When I say get lost, I mean it." "Now, Erath, let me..." Fox did not finish the sentence. Instead, Poppy heard Erath cry, "I said get, broomtail!" This order was followed by a whack, a yelp of pain, and a frantic scramble of paws, concluding with a barking and whining that grew faint with amazing rapidity. Poppy was sure the fox was being devoured, but more frightening still, she saw the porcupine wheel about and start to waddle back down the log in her direction. Poppy panicked. She turned and fled towards one hope of escape, the log's other end. The farther into the log Poppy went, the more foul-smelling it became. Worse, she had increasingly difficulty seeing where she was going. Sure enough, she slammed into the log's far end. There was no escape hole. Stunned and unsteady on her feet, heart beating so hard she sure it would burst, a terrified Poppy turned to confront the porcupine. Her one remaining hope was to try and slip by the beast. Though Poppy knew she'd risked a severe shredding, she was certain it was her only chance. "Slop, pop, or bebop," the porcupine cried. "Where the snake's sweat are you? Come out of here!" Gasping for breath, Poppy braced herself against the rear wall of the log and ready to bolt and die. Erath's face, grinning hideously, loomed out of the dark at her. "Poppy, you wretched excuse of a runt, why the devil are you hiding in my toilet?" There's the next chapter. Chapter 12, What Poppy Learns.